Good evening, Pipe Pals. Pipe Monk here, and today we are going to talk about GLP's Sixpence Old London series. So, this was introduced last year in November, if I remember it correctly, and it is the part of the Old London series collection by Gregory Pease. Before I go on into my impressions on the blend, I would just want to tell you about the other blends in the series. The first blend in the series was called Chelsea Morning, and it was introduced in October 2009. The second one was Quiet Nights, and it was introduced in May 2010. The third one was Meridian, and it was introduced in October 2010. The fourth one was called Lagonda, is called Lagonda, and it was introduced in July 2011. The fifth one if was called is called Sextant, and it was introduced in April 2012. The next one in the series was Navigator, and it was introduced in December 2012. After that, Gaslight came into existence, and it was introduced in October 2013. The latest one in the series is Sixpence, and it was introduced to the markets in November 2014. The Old London series is primarily the broken flake cake series of GLPs. Basically, all these blends in the collection are either cake, flake, or broken flake, and they are all made using the old traditional methods of the older blending house. If I'm correct, GLPs was the master blender for Drucker and Sons for a very long time, so he knows his leaf really, really well. I got Sixpence in mid-April this year, and when I opened the tin, I was really, really, really impressed with the presentation. The tin, as you know, is the classic C&D tin. As we all know, GLP's blends are made by Connell and Deal, and they're really, really nice. Awesome. So, if we go into my impressions for the blend, it's a very nuanced, very balanced blend. So let's get into the presentation of the broken flake. Sixpence comes in the form of a broken flake. Um, the typical C&D tin, as you all know, these blends are invented or created by GLPs, and it is manufactured by Connell and Deal. Um, I've all, of course, I've opened it, I've smoked it. Today I had the last pour. So basically, it comes with a plastic cap with a metal seal on top of the tin, and you basically just push uh, the lid back just like you open a can of Coke. And you're really, really greeted with a very unique presentation I've never seen in other blends I've smoked except for one. Uh, it's by Planta, I think so. So it's nicely covered with this piece of thick paper, and it's basically GLP's words on it. It says, "The finest tobaccos are brought together in careful balance to provide a smoking experience like no other. It is my sincere wish that you will derive as much pleasure from the smoking of this mixture as I have from its creation, GLPs." So this is a really personal touch to the tin. Every tin has this um, card in it, and then we have a double cap, you can say. It basically opens like this, and you can see the flakes here, or the broken flakes, are really neatly packed. At the first sight when I opened up, and I was like, what, these are like whole flakes. Very nicely packed, really good job done by the C&D guys. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about the tin aroma. for this blend. The tin aroma, basically, when you open it first time, it's lots of Virginia goodness with just a hint of Perique. You know the Perique is in there, and a lot of sweet liquor. I guess it is a brandy. I may be wrong, but that is my interpretation of the blend. That it has a casing of brandy in it because it's very sweet. Rum, I don't think so, can be this sweet, but I can be wrong. I'm not a sommelier. So, how do you prepare this blend? It's very easy as they come in flakes, and this one is the broken flake. You can either take them out, stuff and fold them, fold and stuff them into the pipe, and smoke as we smoke other flakes. Or in my case, I basically rubbed it out because my tin, the original tin for sixpence, was destroyed. It was basically crushed on the one side when I got the parcel. It's in my other video, I'll link it in the description. So what I did was I took the sticker for the sixpence and basically pasted it over the quite nice one. Anyways, just wanted to show you how a GL Pieces tin look like in the 2-ounce version. The flakes, they itself, they are a very classic presentation. As I told you earlier, sixpence comes neatly and very tightly packed, um, uh, and the double covers and all those things of tin. They are um, very well made, very well packaged presentation. One thing I really like about this tin and the blend and the flakes is that it's very high quality. I have not smoked C&D blends. I don't know if it's a standard for them, but it's really nice. It's better than those uh, you know sealable, resealable tins. Um, these are compact, those are not. So you can actually have more space in the parcel, and you can actually buy more of the stuff with uh, less volume taken by the parcel. So these flakes I was talking about are one of the lightest, fluffiest I've ever encountered. And if you are a new smoker like me and you have been smoking the GLP's blends comparatively new, you'll really find it really nice that they are so light and they are so fluffy. You can feel them having no weight at all. So that I really liked about GLP's blend. So after packing my pipe, the first jar light, after the first jar light, the first draw of this blend was very creamy, very light. It basically has a perfect harmony of the leaf. The smoke is actually rich, but it's never overpowering. This is the best thing I've liked about this blend is that it's never overpowering. It somehow GLPs has you know managed to create a perfect harmony between the leaves. And if I hadn't read about the tobacco, I would have missed the Kentucky old dark fired Kentucky in it. Uh, I really love how um, the balance between these blends have been. And the first draw or the first 1 or 2 minutes of this blend, if you're smoking it for the first time, it will also give a really sweet profile initially because of the casings being used. Primarily, what I feel is it's a brandy, but it's very nice. You will really love it. The Perique in this blend is a delight. It never assaults your senses, but basically it rather caresses you at all times. Because of all these perfect harmonious balances, the retro hill for this blend initially is quite strong, but it's really nice. For the first quarter of the bowl, you can actually taste and smell and experience the high level of premium Virginias which have been used in this tobacco. So moving on. Let's talk about the first quarter. What was my experience? for the first quarter of sixpence in my pipe. The pipe which I've used for this blend exclusively, this is my Virginia Perique pipe. It's a brick black freehand sitter. I only use it to smoke Virginia Periques, and if I'm changing the blends, I will basically use the cotton ball alcohol method and then leave the pipe for at least 2 weeks to dry before I smoke another blend, another Virginia Perique blend in it. So the first quarter, which I've dubbed as the Virginia song, uh, the tobacco here is a very wonderful crafted dessert for Virginia Creek lovers. As I said, after the first chai light, you will not need a first light for a long time. You smoke it slowly, okay, and after the first 30 seconds, after the leaves are basically heated up, you will start to explore and experience the different nuances which will come out of this blend. Uh, First quarter, first 5 to 10 minutes, lots of Virginia goodness, lots of farm fresh hay experience, as we basically love to call the Virginia aroma. It's a very nice concoction. But moving on, if when you progress towards the last 3 minutes of the 10 minutes experience, the first quarter of the bowl experience, the Perique starts to show its presence, very slowly. And because of that Kentucky, the Perique uh, feels a little bit more fuller. Uh, at this stage, the taste of brandy lingers on, with lots of Virginia goodness in it. You will also feel the chocolate coming out in the room note because of that Kentucky I was talking about. If you retrohale at this stage, it packs a lot of heat in terms of spice, not temperature, but in terms of spiciness. It's like cayenne pepper, but it's like cayenne. It's not like black pepper or the typical pepperish, perique pepperishness we identify it with. At about the 10 minutes mark, I basically needed the first row light for this blend. When you are smoking this blend, try to very delicately light the bowl. Do not give it more heat, just the minimal which is required to relight or reignite the leaves. Because I've noticed, after smoking this blend for 3 months, what I've noticed is if I heat it too much, uh, the profile, on the spot immediately changes into really bitter experience for the remaining of the bowl. So the smoke at this stage, after the 10-minute mark, it's very smoky, it's medium spicy. The broken flakes are basically now working in tandem, they're basically working wonders. The Perique stays with you throughout. The intensity of Perique may go up or down depending on your smoking rhythm. If you are a retro hill junkie, you will really love Sixpence. There is strength in the blend, but it will not knock you out of your senses. That's what I like about Sixpence. As I've said again and again, it's very balanced. The sweetness at this stage will come and go from time to time as an aftertaste, but it's not that sweet because of the Kentucky in it. The Kentucky in this blend basically gives you an overall nutty, woody taste at this stage. In the next clip, I'm going to talk about the second quarter of the bowl, uh, where the Perique basically comes alive. So let's talk about that. After the 10 minutes, you progress towards the 15-20 minutes into the 15-20 minutes mark. And at this stage, the Virginia has warmed up. It has blended well with the sidekick of Perique and Kentucky. Expect perfect harmony. Balanced is the keyword, which which basically kept popping in my mind. At this stage, you will start to feel the kick of nicotine. It will show its presence. So, I advise you not to smoke this blend. If you are not a regular Virginia Perique smoker, do not smoke it on an empty stomach. Always keep something cold and sweet handy around you. What I used, because I wanted to actually have the maximum experience of this blend, what I used was a very chilled bottle of club soda. So, as I said, the nicotine starts to show its presence in your bloodstream by this time after the 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes mark. But it's not that strong, it will not kick you in the face, it will make its presence known. The nicotine in this blend is a very refined lover. You need to show some proper love and care, and you will get loads of pleasure uh, from the second quarter of the bowl. uh, it's a very submissive partner. Perique right now, it's a very submissive partner, which in my words will basically appeal to your inner masculinity irrespective of your gender. Very wonderfully crafted blend. I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but this is my experience for this blend. Just a word of advice, as with all Virginia blends, please go slow. You don't want this blend to burn at a higher rate because it naturally burns faster as compared to the other Peace blends I've been smoking. So, moving on, 30 minutes into the smoke, I basically had to put my pipe down, and I actually had to reach my chilled bottle of club soda. So if you haven't smoked a Virginia break for some time, as I said, keep some cold water ready. Um, that's about it. The first half, uh, this is my experience for the first half of the bowl of the GLP sixpence experience. In the next clip, we'll talk about the second half and the climax of the blend. So the second half of the bowl, I have dubbed it as Kentucky Dominance. So by the time you reach at the beginning of the second half, the aftertaste of Virginia, the hay, and the spiciness of Perique actually gives away to the woody flavor, the stage where Kentucky takes a little bit more dominance, and you'll start to feel uh, the woody flavor, the chocolate flavor on a palate. The smoke is still very rich and creamy, but it doesn't go overboard, which is actually a welcome surprise. As lots of Virginia Perique blends tend to get more on the bitter side, they basically, after the second half, or sorry, after the first half, they tend to slide more towards on the bitter side. But not with this blend. It's still very rich, still very creamy. The brandy casing is still detectable at this stage if you puff really slow and give some time between each successive draws. It's like you can have like 3 draws a minute, and you will still be able to detect a hint of the casing which has been used in this blend. It's a very fantastic experience for smokers who actually love a healthy dose of nicotine in their blends, but they don't want to get dominated by it. So by at the start of the second half, um, the Kentucky basically comes into play in a more major role. The retrohale by now, it has actually matured into the fuller version of the previous heat, but now it has a floral note in between. Frankly, my nose has never been treated to this royal treatment with any other blender's creation like it has with Sixpence. What I would advise at this stage is that you get rid of the ash in your pipe. Just scratch it a little bit and dump the ash, tamper a little bit, and then light it up again. Otherwise, what I have noticed, because I use the cherry wood, is that it starts requiring lots of relights, and you don't want to do that with this blend, because it will make the tobacco more hot in the process. Coming to the climax of the sixpence experience, um, after this experience, after the 30-40 minutes which I've been smoking this blend, I basically put my pen down literally, and I allowed the experience to totally overtake me. I closed my eyes and I enjoyed retrohaling with every puff. I did not wanted the bowl to finish, but I wanted this thing, this experience, to linger on as long as possible. So here's a shout out to Gregory at Pease. Bravo, you have made a really fantastic blend. Talking about the smokability of the blend, Sixpence burns perfectly all the way down. It leaves no dottle and it maintains a perfect smoke. It stays rich and creamy throughout the smoking experience. Excuse me. The flakes, they pack perfectly. You don't need to rub them, or if you want to, you can go ahead and rub them out. What I've experienced is it does not change the experience that much. The experience more or less stays the same. The tobacco burns down to almost zero ash and it maintains a steady pace throughout the smoke. You will not see, the tobacco burning too hot or too fast or too slow or too cool. It is really evolved. It is it's basically a self-evolving blend in the pipe. You might feel a tingle on your tongue because of the spice in the blend, the heat in the blend, but this blend will never give you a tongue bite or a tongue burn as long as you show proper respect. So, what I mean to say in these sentences is that if you are a novice pipe smoker or someone who has started pipe smoking, I would want you to hold on and not smoke this blend. Wait for a few months, and then when you have uh, practiced a little bit with your pipe smoking, with your rhythm, about the process of damping and relighting and all those things, then you should go ahead and smoke this blend. Summary, to just summarize it all, is that if you're a big fan of Darwin, you will love this blend a lot. The tobacco constantly keeps evolving to a rich smoking experience, and it keeps on giving you the subtle variation and complexity it has in store for you. As it is common with all GLP's blends, Sixpence would do wonders if it's aged. I actually wonder how it would taste like after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Certainly, lots of hard work and lots of endless night have gone into the alchemy of this blend, and I think it's a really uh, good labor of love. It's a gem of a blend. Uh, a very welcome addition for to anyone and everyone's cellar. I would like to end my impressions on this blend with a line. It's basically an epic journey from tin to ash. It sounds like I think I'll make the headline of the video an epic journey from tin to ash. I would give this blend a solid 3.5 out of 4 because nobody's perfect. Uh, the smoking companions which I've used with this blend to smoke this blend was a chilled bottle of club soda. The pipe used was my dedicated Virginia Perique pipe, the Rick Flag freehand sitter. The tobacco components, which are the ingredients which have been used to make this blend officially, is Virginia, Perique, Kentucky, with a hint of liquor. I'll say brand. Will I buy it again? Of course, of course. This is like a regular feature in my rotation. Aged when I smoked, before I actually wrote down my entire pressure of the blend, I smoked it fresh. I had smoked it at 1 month in the jar. I had smoked it today with 3 months age on the jar, plus a few weeks or months into after the tin was packed. Similar blends to it, I have not smoked lots of tobacco. I have not smoked lots of GLPs tobacco. I think the other Virginia Perique GLPs has is Haddo's Delight. So I will be able to, update this description of the similar blends after I've smoked a few other Virginia Brick blends in the GLP's collection. I purchased it from phonogins.com in the US. The blender's website, if you want to visit GLP's website, is it's glps.com, and if you want to go to the manufacturer's website, it's cornellanddeal.com. Um, those are the guys who have uh, created, manufactured. No, it was created by GLPs. They have manufactured the formula given by Greg Pease. So, anyways, guys, thanks for listening. I hope you had a good experience listening to my impressions on this blend. It may vary from person to person because every person has a different chemical balance for their bodies and how they experience the tobacco. That's a good thing about tobacco is that every experience is unique. No tobacco blend is bad until it's really, really, really low quality. Um, Even then, I know lots of people who love blends which I don't like, and there are lots of blends which I like and the other person doesn't like, or lots of people don't like. So I'll just end my impression on the blend and tobacco in general is that please try this and age it a little bit. Take it off the tin, put it in a jar, wait for 2 weeks at least, and then smoke it. Uh, After the initial bowl you have smoked fresh, then you'll be able to actually measure up the differences in the blend itself. Let the tobacco breathe a little bit in the jar, open it up from time to time, and then seal it again. And if you're going for long cellaring, there are lots of videos available on YouTube and on other YouTuber pipe community members where you can actually see how to store this blend long term. And I'm pretty sure that a 10-year age on this tobacco will do wonders for it. Till then, guys, um, I'll see you, and light up your bowl, light up your pipe.